all this integral is what does summation start with? What letter does summation start with? An S. You guys, that's what a sigma represents, summation. And all this integral sign is an S elongated. It's literally meant to look like an S because we are summing things together. So an integral sign, that was kind of ugly of mine, it's just going to be in an elongated S, because that means that we're adding things together. Haven't we been adding the areas of rectangles or the areas of triangles and things and the areas of trapezoids together? That's all an integral is. It's saying, all right, I know that you want me to add these shapes together, so this is just saying I'm going to add some things together. Let's go figure out what these some things are. So this A to B is just saying these are my endpoints. So this is as my lower limit and my upper limit of integration, because again, this is an integral symbol. And that's just saying from where to where. So on this question right here, when it says from 0 to 7, those are my lower and my upper limits. That's just saying find the area from 0 to 7. Okay, those are my bounds. And then it's saying of the function, and we have this dx here. This dx is really just letting us know that we're dealing with this variable, an x variable, okay? My function is on an xy axis. We're dealing with the variable x. Other than that, I think that we're good with this. We're not going to utilize this other than knowing that this is just asking for the area under the curve. And when I say the curve, I just mean the function. The area from the function to the x-axis. So this first picture says the graph of f is above. What is the area from 0 to 7? You guys, they want us to add up all of these areas. What would I do with those areas that are beneath the x-axis? Subtract them. Agreed. Okay. And we can break this into any shapes that we want. Does anyone want to do one trapezoid that's on its side, one trapezoid, let me rephrase this. One trapezoid whose bases are here, another trapezoid whose bases are there, and then a triangle? Or are you like, I'm over trapezoids as of yesterday. I'd rather do a triangle and a rectangle and a square and a triangle and a triangle. Doesn't matter. What do we feel like doing? You feel trapezoids? Can we handle the trapezoids after we saw them yesterday? We can do it. Okay, so Elliot says, we're going trapezoids, people, because we are smart people. Here we go. We've got this little trapezoid here, which technically is like that, right? What would the area of a trapezoid, don't forget, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 bases times height. What would be my two bases of this cute little trapezoid? Nice, you guys. Here are my bases, 1 and 2. What's my height? Yeah, this height here. Agreed. Then let's go add my next trapezoid, which is a little bit more easy on the eyes maybe because it's just sitting more normal, if you will. 1/2 its bases times its height. What are the two bases? I'm going to put them in black. Close, isn't it? That's okay. 3 and 2, right? 3 and 2. And what's the height? 2. And lastly, we got a little triangle down here. What's my little triangle? 1/2 its base. And its height? Yeah, we kind of cool if I say -2 just to make sure that we subtract it. So when I go do my mental math here, anytime I see a 1/2 and a 2, I'm just going to cancel them out. So that'll just help me. And I get a 3, I get a 5, and a -2. Final answer. Yeah, 6. Are they ready, Cam, for you to say 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 10, right? When would we add them? It's if they were like, hey, here are velocities. What is my total distance traveled? As soon as they say the word total, we don't want to say the negatives. Let's talk about what this actually means. This is meaning, if this is velocities, I went 3 miles right with positive velocities, kept a constant velocity at 5 miles to the right as I slowed down. Then what did I do? Turned around and I drove 2 miles to the left. So this is letting me know my final ending point would have been 6 miles east or to the right of where I started. We okay with that? This one says, hey, F is above and it's a semicircle. What is the value? And again, this is letting us know they want the area from 2 to 12. And you guys, it's always going to be to the nearest x-axis. That's that dx right now. It's going to be to the nearest x-axis. You guys, they just want this area. Weird. Could we say I could find the area of this whole thing and then minus this half circle, and wouldn't I then be left with this yellow portion? Yeah. So you guys, let's start with that. Let's go find, and maybe just note, this is what we're looking for. This is our end goal. End game. Okay. Let's go find the area of that rectangle first. Area of the rectangle. Is the rectangle above the x-axis or below it? So we want it to be negative, right? Area's got to be negative. What times what to find the area of this big old rectangle? 10 times negative 6. Are we okay with that? That's going to say the area of that rectangle down there is negative 60. Are we getting in fist fight? All right, now, Mr. Lucal, you said let's go find the area of this half circle. Area of a circle? Pi r squared divided by 2. 1/2 pi r squared. However you want to say it. Doesn't bother me. Which one do we think we say more often? I don't care. 1/2 pi r squared. All right. We're going to say 1/2 pi r squared. Do you agree that this semicircle is still under the x-axis? So this area is also negative, y'all. What's the radius going to be? It'll just be 5, right? Can we just say my radius is 5? But to your point, wouldn't the area of this half circle be a negative 25 pi over 2? We okay with that? Lucal, how did you say we're going to go and find just these dashed black lines? Rectangle, what semicircle? Oh, yeah. So wouldn't it technically, though, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, we're going to do rectangle minus semicircle, and I'd be left with that shape that's the area that's left, right? And in this case, I see what you're saying, Mr. Lucal. My rectangle had an area of negative 60 minus the half circle, which was also a negative, which is why I think you said add it. Yeah, because minus that negative will turn into a plus. But we are just going our foundation. If you're like, all right, big minus that little is going to get me what's left, and it does wind up being an addition. Is that an answer? Yeah. On this one up here, we skipped the top guy. I already kind of shaded in what these are talking about. Gavin! Here we go. You guys, when they say, hey, go ahead and what is the relationship between these 3 areas? And then they want us to compare them. Okay, what would we say 0 to 2? What would you say about that area? Do we know anything specific about it other than it is a big positive, right? You agree? Big positive. So I'm going to be like this. Boop, that one's positive. What about my area from 0 to 3? Positive with a little less, right? This is going to take some of it away. So maybe I'm going to be like a little less positive. That's how I'm going to write that. What about my area from 2 to 3? That's negative. Then you guys, they just want us to order these. What's less than that, which is less than that, which means they want this is bigger than that, which is bigger than that. So they want the biggest over here. What's going to be the biggest? 0 to 2. And so what is that answer right away? D, if that's the biggest, then we said 0 to 3 was a little less big, and 2 to 3 was the negative. I agree. If I said, hey, Johanna, she's jogging. Look at that. I gave you her rate, her velocity.
Johanna's crazy.
That's the German.
If this is V, how do we find V prime at 16? This is back at unit 2, I'd say. Easy breezy. What are we doing? J prime at 16? 240 minus 200 over? Done. You guys, did they say indicate units? No. So we're done. Don't simplify it. Okay, part B. This is kind of new now, you guys, because we're just seeing this integral sign. Using correct units, explain the meaning of this definite integral. I can't really believe I gave this to you before I even did this problem, but here we go. We're here. And then they want us to approximate this value using a right Riemann sum. Wow. Okay, let's back this up. They want us to talk about what the heck this means. You guys, let's actually find this right Riemann sum first. Let's do a right Riemann sum. But what do you notice about this v of t? They've got absolute value bars around it. So they want us to find the absolute value of these velocities. What do you think that would do? Make all of her velocities positive, so we would actually be finding her total distance traveled as opposed to her final position. Exactly. So let's go ahead and do this right Riemann sum first. We haven't done one of these since yesterday, or actually since the other day, because yesterday we did trapezoids. So a right Riemann sum, don't forget, would we have 4 rectangles? Is that what they wanted? 4. Yeah. Right Riemann sum, you guys, area of a rectangle is always base times height. Gavin, give me all of my bases. If you mess this up, you're kicked out of class. 12? 8? 4? Good job. Okay. Okay. Gavin, right Riemann sum. My first rectangle has a base of 12. What's the right height? 200. Very good. We don't need the 0 ever. Next rectangle, Gav. 8 times 240. Next one.
4 times -220.
Careful. Remember what they wanted here? Yeah, because that absolute value. So we're going to make that a positive 220. And my 16 times a positive 150. And you guys, us noticing that, if we were to have kept it as negative, this would get our distance, our final position, because it would have been like, all right, we were traveling right, and then we traveled left some, and then we went right again, and that's going to get me my final position. But when I make them all positive, it's going to say, all right, I went right 200 meters, I went right, or 4 meters per second, and then I went right at this rate, and then I went right at this rate, and I went right at this rate. So this is going to get me my total distance that I traveled. However you want to say it, Johanna or Joanna. I would write the integral from 0 to 40, absolute value, v of t dt. I just copied that from right here. And we're going to say represents Johanna's. If you don't say the word total here, they won't give you the point. They want total distance traveled. And they said using units, using correct units. You guys, don't be stressed about the units, because don't forget, we did 12 times 200. We just got those numbers from right here. So we did minutes times meters per minute. What's that gonna be left with? Meters, good. So this represents Johanna's total distance traveled in meters from what time to what time? 0 to 40 minutes. Very good. Mr. Bob, his velocity is given as b of t. It says b is measured in meters per minute. Find his acceleration. Look what we gave you, the velocity. How would I find his acceleration? Prime it. Take its derivative. I don't know if we have a calculator or not. We probably don't. We don't have a calculator. Can we prime it? Let's go prime it. What's b prime of t? Minus? Very good. You guys, they said, what's his acceleration at 5? Do you guys agree if they gave us the velocity and we took its derivative, this is acceleration? Let's just plug in a 5 then. B prime at 5 is 3 times 5 squared minus 12 times 5. Do we need to take that any further? Hytham, you are done. You do this. You go, boop. You just put that little period. I'm done. Okay, last one. The height of water in a storage tank. And we had... Okay, oh God, we got 2 minutes. Here's what we're going to actually do. Right here, I want to do A instead of my right Riemann sum because we haven't had to do this in a while. Does anyone remember the equation of a tangent line? Y minus Y. Yes. So it says write a tangent line when t is 2, oh snap, t should have been my x's, my bad. And then use that to estimate when t is 2.8. You guys, if we need a point and a slope. For t, I should have made this t's. Do we know when t is 2 what the y should be?
Yeah. Wait, no. Oh.
No, to your point, this is something. What would this 0.3 be referring to? The slope, right? So when t is 2, don't we have a slope of 0.3 and a y value of 7? So let's go ahead and say instead of y, I should have done h because they said h is. Sheesh. We're going to say h minus 7 equals my slope of 0.3 times t minus 2. The last thing we got to do, just as a reminder, you guys, it says use that to estimate when t is 2.8. That's going to go right here and get h by itself. Get h by itself. So we got h equals what? 0.3. 2.8 minus 2. Plus 7, you're done. Ooh. If it's concave up, if h is concave up, is my tangent line always going to be an over or an under estimate?
Wait, Mr.
Under.